Please. We'll have roll call.
Eads. Here. Italy.
Here.
Longenecker.
Here.
Miller's absent. Pinkerton.
Here.
Chuck Schaefer.
Here.
Seaford.
Here.
Sellers.
Here.
Webster.
Here.
Wendell. Here. Peace.
Here.
Klotz. Here.
Do we have a motion for the minutes from the last meeting,
I
please?
make a motion, we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we'll start off with BC 2025-14.
There we go. Awesome. So PC, whoa, shocked me. PC 2025-14 Cats, Lawrence Cats and HDJ Investments. That's way more of a tongue twister than I'd like to admit. LLC 207 East Market Street, Napanee, Indiana 46550. A request for a 2-lot minor subdivision of a 4.121 acre property located at 7794 Queen Road and 7908 Queen Road, both of Plymouth, Indiana 46563. Identified as parcels 5041 26 00026 00017 and 5041 26 00055 00017. Zoned R1 Rural Residential District. So the proposal here is the applicant is seeking to approve of a new minor subdivision. The name of that proposed subdivision would be RSBR Queen Road Subdivision. Subdivision sounds pretty significant, but simply what they're looking to do is you can see there are two, one squarish looking parcel and one longer rectangular looking parcel. They're looking to adjust that internal lot line easternly to adjust those two lot lines, but under our ordinance is called a subdivision. So as you can see here, the subdivision itself is going further into the wetland area as it's shown currently in the middle of the upland ground. The wetland area is pretty well defined by what is being in crop rotation and what is not. And so as you see, that line begins to move easternly to be able to pick up that additional ground and space. This was the original subdivision that they provided to us, or the original plat provided to us. And the land title survey or the Alta survey that was provided as well as additional information. We requested some additional amendments to be made to that document and they were able to make those for us. Most of which you're not going to notice. A lot of it just has to deal with different naming aspects. But as far as the pins and those sorts of things, those pretty well remained unchanged. So we went out to the property from earlier this year from the BZA case where they were approved to be able to show you what it looked like post crop removal from the harvest time period. This is what it looks like as you're looking southbound towards US 30. And then we're up at the intersection at Queen, Plymouth Port and US 30. Looking across the street just for reference. And some signs for the BCA case matter. Then looking northbound from the same intersection. That's where the new Dollar General would go. So for the analysis under the subdivision control ordinance, the Plan Commission shall determine whether or not the proposal has met the requirements and standards of this ordinance. Based on a cursory review of the project, the technical review committee did not see any issue with the intent. The project would create no new lots, but will be adjusting an existing lot line. There would be no new roads created, nor will there be a need for municipal services of water or sewer. During the site planning review, the applicant agreed to move the driveway on Queen Road as far north as possible, but that all can be referenced under the BZA case 2025-16 earlier this year. For the decision criteria that you have to make this decision against includes 5 items. For that decision criteria, you had establishment of minimum width, depth, and area of lots with projected subdivision, which is not applicable because you're increasing in size and you're able to apply that to both properties. Coordination of subdivision streets with existing and planned streets and highways. There are no new streets proposed and the applicant has been advised of the NDOT projects in the Propel study. Number 3, the coordination with and extension of facilities included in a comprehensive plan. This will be a rural project. So there'll be no current proposed extension of facilities to service that project. For fair allocation of areas of streets, parks, schools, public and semi-public buildings, homes, utilities, businesses, and industry, the proposal would not warrant new streets, parks, schools, etc. Now, for the distribution of population and traffic in a manner tending to create conditions favorable to health, safety, convenience, and the harmonious development of the city. The proposal was already viewed and associated with a variance, and applicant has agreed to make the most of safe considerations as it comes to traffic distribution. So full recommendation based on the subdivision plat provided, that was subsequently amended by staff's recommendation. Staff would recommend approval of the proposed as meeting the intent and requirements laid out in the subdivision ordinance. Now it is up for plan commission determination with staff's recommendation of approval. Any questions for staff?
How does the development of another Dollar General fit into the overall comprehensive plan for Plymouth?
That was a portion under the BZA case, not the planning commission case this evening. This is about whether or not it meets the subdivision control ordinance.
Right. Okay.
The only thing you get to base it on is these 5 factors. The BZA has already determined that it's an acceptable use to go into that space. We're just determining whether or not that adjustment of the lot line easternly does or does not make sense. That is it.
Well, we have no, we could have 10 more Dollar Generals if somebody wanted to. As long as they go in the correct places, we have no say in whether they can put a Dollar General in or not, correct?
Without substantial changes to the zoning ordinance, it would be rather difficult to rule out a singular retail business.
That's correct. Because I've been asked this question before.
Right.
So by
Borderline, you would get into legal complications with
Right.
sectioning out a single retailer. Regardless of which
But
direction
I
you
do
go.
agree that it makes a good place for a Dollar General, if that's what you want to put. But I can remember back in the day, there was, from where I'm at on Jefferson Street, we had 3 small grocery stores that were in the neighborhood within maybe 4 or 5 blocks from our house. And it's not much different, That's basically what they are, Dollar Generals, small grocery store.
Any questions on the subdivision?
Do we
Hearing
have to
none.
open it up for
Be a public hearing.
public
Yes, sir.
hearing? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we open this up for a public hearing.
Do I have? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right, anyone for or against or whatever? Yes, sir.
Want me to come up there?
Sure.
Okay.
Name and address?
Sure.
My name is Dave Peters. I'm 4152 Progress Boulevard in Peru, Illinois. I'm here on behalf of the Overland Group, the developer for this project. So just wanted to kind of make it known I'm here, and if you have any questions for me, the intro kind of covered most of what you need to know for the subdivision, but if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Is this the Overland Group? Do they own the other Dollar Generals in town, or is that split up with somebody else?
That was a good question. I honestly do not know the answer to
I
that.
believe the last 2 are each owned by different companies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all developed.
They franchise their territories out, don't they? Is it kind of-
Yeah, there can be different developers in different areas, but obviously this one we're proposing on the west side of town here, so. Any questions? Happy to answer them, if I can answer them.
Do we have anything else from anybody else in the audience, please? Yes, sir.
My name's James Warner.
Sure. Come on up, James.
I'm a little,
It's all right. Most of these people won't bite, but some of them will. I'll have to watch them.
I'm James Warner on Plymouth Laporte Trail.
Uh-huh.
I live.
You want to speak in the microphone a little bit closer?
I live close on 7886 Plymouth Laporte Trail. And I'm a little vague, which parcel of land are we talking about?
East
It'd
side.
be the intersection with. Is you come off US 30 onto Queen Road
Yeah,
before you turn onto Plymouth Port Trail. It's right there on the corner to the east. So the east side of Queen.
oh, east side of Queen, going
East
down
side.
that.
As you head north,
Okay. And that's where the Dollar General was. That was,
we propose correct.
okay, now I know where you're at. I was thinking it was
Just come off
close.
the highway, that little frontage road.
Yeah.
In Queen Road as you head north, it's that east side.
Okay. And the driveway into that subdivision will probably be up far north, you could get it.
Correct. It'll be as
Okay.
far north of their property as possible.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else? There being nothing else, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I have a question.
Sure.
For this first. This is quite a ways out from the city and say our county representative is here, Stan Klotz. Do you have anything you want to add with this one way or the other? Cause it is a ways out from Plymouth.
No, I would just, make sure they check with Jason for the driveway permit and all kinds of whatever they're gonna need.
Okay,
And also, health department's parts, you're not gonna be hooked up to utilities, septic and stuff. That is commercial, not residential. But past that, thank you for noticing.
I'm getting older, but I don't always miss things. I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do we have a second? Second. It's been moved in second. Any other questions from the board? There being none, do we have
I need to vote on it.
do we have a motion?
We need to vote.
We didn't vote on
here.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're trying to move along too quick,
Too
I guess.
fast. Okay,
All right, so do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve PC 2025-14 for the minor subdivision on Queen Road.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We will vote by roll call, please.
Eads,
Yes.
Gateway,
Yes.
Kyle, as you're calling roll, Randy needs to be visible to the board members for his vote to be counted. Sorry to interrupt.
Hope you're dressed, Randy. He doesn't feel good, so I don't know what he told me he doesn't feel good.
Oh,
Yes.
pull him over. There he is.
There you are.
There you are. Longenecker,
Yes.
thank you all. Pinkerton,
Yeah.
Rochuck Shaker,
Yes.
Secor,
yes.
Sellers,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Wendell,
See that,
Yes.
but I didn't
Peace.
see it.
Yes.
I can put him out of his misery now.
well then. So for it being a subdivision, the surveyor does have the plat here. So we'll need the president and secretary to sign off on that, before you leave.
Bring it up.
You got it. So getting into the next case, 2025-15, Cats again. The request, the applicant is seeking to waiver from the requirement to install sidewalks on the property. Here's the site plan itself, showing the proposed driveway being on the north-hand side, or on the west side as far north as possible, to be able to locate it there. We showcase this layout just to give you an idea of what they're proposing. But to better reference this map, which showcases over 1 mile in distance as the crow flies between the furthest sidewalk associated with the city of Plymouth.
And put the date in.
That's on the opposite side of 30. And has no connection point to this subject property, which is why they're here for the waiver. Again, going through the pictures, looking southbound on Queen Road into the subject property. And panning down at 30 itself. And then panning the properties on your east-hand side. and then looking back towards Plymouth and the industrial complex. So for the analysis under Article 6190, the ordinance requires development to install public sidewalks along public streets unless an exception is granted by the commission. Upon review of the proposed project and its location not near nor adjacent to public utilities, to require sidewalks would not make sense. Several projects have recently received waivers for construction timeline for the Oak Road region, but this proposal is contextually different. The closest point from the eastern new property line to western termini of Miller Drive and its associated sidewalk is more than 1 mile apart as the crow flies and on opposite side of US 30 with little to no development in between. So for recommendation based on information provided and reviewed by staff, it is recommended to support/approve the proposed waiver. Now it is up for plan commission determination. Any questions for staff?
So is there any conditions attached to the waiver recommended by staff?
There's not. You're looking at municipal development within that region. You're looking at a considerable amount of time or a lot of development occurring in a very short period of time.
We didn't know they put the store out there either.
Right. So I'd say it's an association with how the policy is written. Doesn't necessarily consider the difference between what is municipal property development within municipal boundary versus what is within the 2 mile space and what's being developed in that space. This is legitimately the furthest extent within the 2 mile heading west for the city to have some sort of regulation over, because as we mentioned earlier, if you were on the west hand side of Queen Road, it would be the county jurisdiction. And they wouldn't have any sidewalk requirements for that project. But because it's within Plymouth jurisdiction and it references all development doesn't care whether it's within the corporate boundary or within the 2 mile. So I didn't have any additional conditions.
I guess the question is, why shouldn't it?
You're just making that as a question as a condition of your vote.
No, so I guess what I'm saying is on Oak Road, we were granting these waivers because he said it was contextually different,
Yeah,
but we were granting the waivers based on getting the right of way to put the sidewalk in.
yeah.
Well, this one doesn't have any waivers attached. I mean, we're just granting a waiver.
Okay.
If we so choose.
You're, okay.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. But does okay, that's a county road. And a county road extends from the center line to where? So if in the future, there had to be a sidewalk there, there is easement along there. Or there is right of way, is it there? Cause a county road is different than a city road.
County roads are usually somewhere between 33 and 40 feet wide, depending on when they were dedicated and what have you.
And aren't the legal descriptions for lots along a county road extend from the center line of the road?
Historically, a lot of surveying
So
in
does
rural
the
areas.
description extend from the center line of the road?
I believe so.
Yeah, so
So there would be room for a
There's-
sidewalk.
the subdivision plat calls for 25 feet. Basically from the center line of the road. 25 feet back into the property as right of way. Correct? Hi. Sorry,
So that would be from the point of beginning, measuring outwards, correct? But I don't know if I would call that the center line of the road.
Well,
Not all roads are
In the
developed
center of the
within
line.
the center of the,
Sometimes the
right of way
road
space.
winds inside the.
that one looks a little.
They don't
off
always
that.
stay right in the center.
Paving and machinery wasn't always
Yeah.
straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Many months ago.
I know what Dan's asking is. If in the future there was a need for a sidewalk, it sounds to me like there is room for a sidewalk.
There would be some room, I would imagine. Now, what does the topo begin to look like? What's the utilities? What's everything else begin to look like?
Right, right.
That can get very muddy. To me, it's contextually different between the Queen Road project for this and the Oak Road projects. Because Oak Road is currently under design and review on what do we as a city want to put in to that given space as a reallocation of right of way. Whereas there are no plans, there are no seen development outside of the Dollar General to be located in that zone or that region. Let alone there's no additional development within that space to be able to connect anything to or from.
But isn't the point of us changing the ordinance so that sidewalks are the default, so that they're there when somebody wants to develop, so we don't have to go back and do the backfill that we are having to do on Oak Road?
Yes. But in terms of the timing on this development, that portion of the road, at least east and west Queen Road, the frontage road, is a dead end road that goes into marsh. So it's not going anywhere. So unless the county is willing to develop sidewalks as you head west on Plymouth Laporte, or their half of Queen Road as you head north, you're asking individuals to cross the road at Queen and 30.
Right.
Let alone what do we know is gonna happen at Queen and 30 with the Propel project?
Or something is developed to the north side of this Dollar General.
It would have to go through the BZA and everything else,
Right.
correct?
That's what I said.
Outside of a Dollar General or something very, very similar, I would not foresee a whole lot being developed within that space. Only because of the unknowns that are coming with the Propel project are going to or not limit access. So that big question mark is gonna have a huge unfortunate factor to a lot of potential development that could come into that area. So it's a lot of speculation into that piece.
I know, but I think on one level, like philosophically. If we keep on letting development happen without sidewalks, even the possibility exists. I'm struggling with just giving yet another waiver.
I understand.
Given the situation.
We have the sidewalk king right here. That would ask you a lot of questions about sidewalks, because every time something is put in, we ask for sidewalks.
That's right.
So, what's your question?
I don't see any other development out there.
Yeah.
And I think this is a moot point at this situation. I don't think the majority of us will live long enough to see other development out that way. And possibly the closing of that road could become a true reality. Yeah.
Right.
What's
It's,
the life, how long do concrete sidewalks generally last before they crumble?
About a year.
I'm just wondering if they were to put them in, would they need to be redone before
Oh.
sidewalks are even out there?
Well,
There's no trees, so they got that going.
that helps.
Yeah.
that's beneficial. Salt will have an impact. Proximity to roadway will have an impact.
Salt.
Whether or not. Salt and concrete.
County just uses sand.
Drainage, a lot of factors.
So some factors will see it as a benefit, some will see it as a detractor. Year wise, I couldn't give you a good speculation on that.
Just curious.
I didn't take any engineering courses in longevity of concrete or similar products. I defer.
I have a house I've lived in for 50 years. And there's still this original sidewalks. There's very few cracks in.
Okay. So it could last.
It could last.
All right, so do we have to open this up public here?
You do,
Okay,
I believe the applicant's also here, be
okay,
able to answer any additional questions on
All right.
those lines.
Make a motion, you wanna hand them up here first,
You can come up here before,
and then I'll make the motion.
Okay.
and then
Open
you
it
can
up.
do.
do you have anything else you wanna
Public hearing
add, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Not yet.
Once again, Dave Peters with Chandler Associates, we're the surveyor on this project. Basically, our thoughts were just, since there are no connecting sidewalks really anywhere near here, we just thought it might be an unnecessary maintenance issue. If they're just kind of sitting out there not getting used and getting covered over with grass and everything else. But you know, we understand that's your ordinance, and so that's why we're proposing a waiver. But basically just a maintenance issue on our end. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion, we open it up for public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, does anyone from the audience have an
Anything to
opinion?
add?
A yay-ness, yes or no? There being none, do
I
we
make
have,
a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second,
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I know this has nothing to do with the vote, but I have one question. Stan, do they allow golf carts on county highways?
I can't totally answer that. They're running around, they are running around Yellowstone inside, and a restraining on the roads. There's a difference between golf carts and like gators.
Uh-huh.
And I can't tell you the difference about what they allow out there. I
It-
don't have one, I've never paid attention to it.
That's my main concern is that they're gonna be, if they do allow it. And I just about can guarantee you that once that store opens, they're gonna be going up and down that. And you have the golfers that's going out to the academy, and I see I see people fly down that road like it's unbelievable.
I don't think it matters if you allow it or not. People are gonna come down here from.
From Jellystone to it, and
Especially
yeah,
out of state, don't claim they don't know.
yeah, I
It
just,
is a reality.
Yeah. that's just my opinion. I don't, it's just gonna be a hot place, that's all I gotta say.
Ready?
Yep.
I make a motion, we approve PC 25-15. Request for a sidewalk exception. At the new proposed property.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any other question? There, we will vote by roll call, please.
Eads,
Yes.
Gidley,
No.
Longenecker,
No.
Pinkerton,
yes.
Chuck Schaefer,
No.
Secord,
Yes.
Sellers,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Wendell. Yes. Peace.
Yes,
7-3, it's approved. So that would be 7-3 and that's approved. So those are our two items of the agenda. I believe the next item is building commissioner updates. Nothing this evening for that. That is a tiny window.
I do have a question. When are we gonna get our parking lot back over here?
When it's paved and striped.
How soon are we looking to get it?
You will not have access once it's paved and striped, so.
I defer to the attorney.
So you may have noticed that they are doing concrete work right now, and the excavators will be working on the alley starting any day now. The concrete should be done by next week. The paving is scheduled for November 13th to the 18th. But the parking lot, the alley will reopen after that, but the parking lot will remain closed until the construction is completed on the townhouses. That's still expected to be around the end of November. We don't have an exact date yet.
Okay.
The parking lot will be reopened once the construction is finished and the townhouse project is open.
No, my question was, I was downtown yesterday. I could park anywhere on in the street, anywhere around. I'm pulling in today and I'm circling the block and it's like it's either nickel beer night or Christmas and November, one or the other. Every place is parked full.
It's fantastic to see that much activity downtown, isn't it?
I was surprised because
Yeah.
you just don't usually see it at night. And I said, I'm down here Monday and you can get any parking place you want up and down all the street.
Depends on the time of day and what activities are going on. But yeah, to answer your question, as far as we know, the project is still expected to be completed around the end of November, and once it's done, the parking lot will reopen.
Basically, our next meeting, hopefully the parking lot will be open.
Hopefully, you'll be able to park there
If not, it'll
at your
be
next meeting.
March or April.
Well, it'll be paved. Like I said, it's scheduled to be paved in a couple of weeks, but they won't open the parking lot up to the public until the construction is completed, because we don't want public parking to interfere with the
I
construction
understand
traffic
that.
coming in and out. I say that not only for you, but also for the benefit of the public who may be listening or following along. Because the more often I repeat it, the more likely people are to remember what I
Are
said.
you sure?
No, I say things, I repeat things a lot and people still forget, but I try.
No significant comprehensive plan update, this evening. We do have one other item for other business. It's your 2026 calendar. We went through and we took a look at the upcoming first Tuesday of the month. Kyle did catch the November 4th or the November 3rd date is the election next year for 2026. So we pushed it, just like we've had in the past, to Wednesday, the following day to November 4th. I went to the primary.
Also the first Tuesday after the first Monday in May, which is primary day, so,
The 5th.
yeah. Got it.
They're coming back.
I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
We got the big election in November, but I came back and wanted to see if you guys wanted to also move the May 5th meeting to May 6th to similarly coordinate with the primary election as
We've
well.
done in the past forever, so.
Had it on the primary election
We
night.
just know we moved it the next
You
day.
moved
We've
it as
done
well.
As long as I've been on here,
Yeah,
you've been on longer than I have, so.
Doug, propose that we accept the calendar as presented.
Okay,
To including the May 6th,
Yeah, the corrections that you made.
with the May 6th adjustment as discussed.
Right.
yeah,
The second portion to that was looking at moving the current meeting time from 7 PM to 6 PM. It would align with the City Board of Works. And then the BZA, we would look to ask them as well to move that to 6:30 as well, which again falls in line with the city council meetings in terms of their timeframes.
But what does that have to do with anything? Really? I mean, it falls in line, but
We're not requesting you to meet any sooner than anybody's other board within the city.
you can. explain.
I think the biggest consideration is for city staff who have to be I mean, we're happy to see you once a month, but we're here more nights than we're not for different meetings. And lining up the times makes it a lot easier on our schedules to keep them consistent. And also to get out of here at a reasonable time, because Ty and I have been in the building since pretty early this morning. I think that's the major consideration. Wouldn't you agree, Kyle? It's a little easier to line things up.
Where
Yeah.
were you guys last year?
Kyle doesn't want to go home.
You know, it also gets us out of here too.
Yeah.
It helps us, so.
It was brought up briefly when I came on in December.
I think
January, but
the biggest
it's very
issue
short.
that Ralph brought up previously was flipping the meetings to have the BZA meet before the plan commission. That was really the motivation. At this point, I don't think that's the recommendation or the request. It's just to move it up an hour so that we can get it in and out.
What I motioned last year is to start earlier.
Let's do it now.
And you can make that motion again if you like.
And I'm having another kid next month, so I won't get any sleep anyway, so.
That's true, Paul.
We've all been there, but it's been a long time ago, we forget.
So we've got the dates established and now it just kind of comes down to a decision on your part on whether or not you want to stick with the 7 o'clock or move forward to the 6 o'clock. Not a fall back, spring forward kind of thing twice a year, but you know, just once.
I move we move the meeting time to 6 p.m.
Second,
Isn't that when we eat? Are you serving dinner?
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
we get dinner after.
it's one day a month. You're making a motion to approve
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry, I
We do
interrupted.
have a motion and we have a second. I guess we'll vote by roll call.
Eads,
Yes.
Gidley,
Yes.
Longenecker,
Yes.
Pinkerton,
No.
Upchuck Schaefer,
yes.
Seaport,
Yes.
Sellers,
Yes.
Webster,
Yes.
Wendell,
Yes.
Peace.
No.
Okay, that's 8-2. If I'm math that correctly in my head. 10 total, 2 no's, 8 yeses.
It passed.
Yeah.
Yay.
So your meeting calendar is shown here with the adjustment from May 5th to May 6th in accordance with the primary election. And then the meeting time will be moved to 6 p.m. So we'll make sure we have that calendar open and ready for you guys for next year. That is everything we have this evening.
Now this begins January, right?
This begins in January, correct? Your December meeting is locked in. I believe it's the 2nd, if memory serves me correctly. But please defer to your calendars first Tuesday, 7 p.m.
All right.
It is like, okay.
Fred, you're up.
Well, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Kyle, do we want to take a
Maybe get home from work.
5-minute recess? And then we'll get started with these, yeah?
Special.
You're ready.
Okay. I'm calling the November 4th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. We'll begin with roll call.
Garner.
Here.
Gidley.
Here.
Ritchie's absent. Wendell.
Here.
Jacobs.
Here. Thank you. The minutes of last regular business meeting of October 7th, 2025 were distributed to the board members via email or mail. Are there any corrections? If not, I'll entertain approval for the minutes as presented or entertain a motion approval of the minutes with corrections.
Motion to approve the minutes as they are.
As they are, I have a motion to accept.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Aye. All right, first on the agenda is BZA 2025-19. Aye.
Okay, so a couple of you were here last time. I'm gonna run through the presentation one more time, and then I'll explain why we're back here again.
Is the representatives here?
He's not here.
Oh, see you.
Oh, there she is.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna run through this presentation. And then I'll give the explanation and the updates. So we have BZA 2025-19 Johnson, Gary and Heather J. Husband and wife, 12515 Meadow Drive, Plymouth, Indiana, 46563. Variance of use to permit backyard chickens on the property at parcel 5032-94-00093-000-018, located at 12515 Meadow Drive, Plymouth, Indiana, 46563, zoned R2 suburban residential district. So the request was for a variance of use to allow backyard chickens on parcel 5032-94-000-093-000-018, located at 12515 Meadow Drive, Plymouth, Indiana. Here's the subject property. And then we pull the subdivisions layer on Beacon. The site plan is shown, and you can see there's the primary structure for the residence, and then they have two wing retaining walls, and the coop is located within those two retaining walls. These are the original pictures, as you can tell by the green trees before fall took over. And we have pictures of the chickens in the coop. There's at least one chicken I can see. For the analysis, the applicant is seeking to permit and approve the use of backyard chickens on the property. They are proposing to have up to 8 chickens, hens specifically, and the eggs and chickens would not be for sale. The site plan provided indicates that the variance would be located between the two retaining walls on the west side of the house. The chickens will be used for their personal egg consumption, along with an education opportunity for their children. There's no desire for a rooster. He's committing to proper waste management, odor control, noise abatement to ensure that the chickens are not a nuisance. The chickens will be confined to my property at all times. The waste is planned to be used in their garden that they are in preparations for and estimate to be about an acre in size. The Johnson residence is an approximate 3.31 acre parcel at the dead end of Meadow Drive that includes a pond. Per beacon mapping system subdivisions layer, the subject parcel is outside of the Oak Crest Addition and Webster Hillside Manor subdivisions. The property is also found outside of, but partially adjacent to the city's corporate boundaries. The parcel is zoned R2 suburban residential district, like many other adjacent properties around it, but those adjacent properties are approximately 0.4 acre in size. The R2 district is characterized as low to medium density residential areas developed beyond the core neighborhoods around Plymouth downtown. Characteristics of development in this category are comparatively large sized lots, curvilinear streets, and the use of cul-de-sacs. These areas are dominated by single family residential development, but also include schools, parks, small scale churches or institutional facilities. The new residential growth will occur in this category as Plymouth expands outward into existing rural areas. There is a county tile that runs alongside the southwestern corner of the property on the opposite side of the pond. Now, for the decision criteria that's being based on the decision this evening is the general welfare, adjacent property, practical difficulty, unnecessary hardship, and the comprehensive plan. Criteria 1, the proposed use of backyard chickens is in moderation and using best practices should not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare. For criteria number 2, the use and value of adjacent property may be impacted depending on the amount and care of those chickens. The strict application of the ordinance would not permit the proposal based on the base zoning. The strict application would not permit the proposal, and the comprehensive plan through the future development character map supports suburban neighborhood. That land use classification preserves Plymouth's charm while accommodating the needs and preferences of property owners. It also promotes a balanced approach. The suburban neighborhood character area ensures that Plymouth's character thrives while catering to modern preferences, seamlessly blending comfort and community. So for the recommendation based on the information provided and reviewed by staff recommends approval of the backyard chickens, but up to only 6 hens on the 3-acre parcel with the following conditions. The use is limited to female chickens only, no roosters. The keeping of the chickens shall be limited to non-commercial purposes. The chickens shall remain confined by either a coop or run. Coop shall maintain a minimum of 2 to 3 square feet per chicken, and run shall maintain a minimum of 5 to 7 square feet per chicken, or as best practices suggest for both structures in the industry. Confinements are recommended to be set in a location, but may be mobile, provided in any of the instances that they meet the minimum setback requirements of the zoning district and not permitted in the front yard. Manure storage shall maintain adequate covering and shall not be any less than double the setback distance of the zoning district requirements. The confinements, coop and run shall be designed and constructed in a way that works to prevent animals from getting in or out. Confinements shall be open to periodic inspection by the city of Plymouth, zoning administrator or designee. Then it goes up for board determination with staff's recommendations with conditions. Now, what brings us here tonight? Previously at the October 7th meeting, 3 board members were in attendance. 2 members from the public spoke up and against the project with concerns over coyotes, maintenance of the property, and animal disposal. 4 letters were read into record against the proposal as well. Concerns of maintenance of the property waste disposal, wildlife impact, and future value impact. The final vote during the meeting on the October meeting was 2 to 1 to deny, but that failed due to the unanimous of the 3 members in attendance. In order to make official action, a decision must be made by a majority of the entire Board of Zoning Appeals membership, not just those in attendance, meaning that when you have 3 individuals in attendance at a meeting itself, it must vote 3 one direction or the other for an action to take place. Otherwise, that case has to be tabled onto the next meeting in order to accomplish anything. This is different than many other boards within the governmental sphere where it can be determined by a majority of attendance. The Board of Zoning Appeals is not written that way in statutory code, and so therefore, for any decision to occur on the 5-member board, 3 have to go one way or the other, or it can be upwards from there, 4-0, 5-0, 3-1, 3-2, whatever it may be. But 3 have to vote one direction or the other for a project or against a project in order for something to occur. So that kind of why we're back in this situation. We went back out, we took some additional pictures, seeing that they've removed the chickens from the property itself. Some additional contextual pictures for reference. And that's concluding the board determination with staff recommendations with the conditions. Nothing having changed, but just an explanation of why this case is back in front of you and providing additional context that's happened between the 2 meetings. Questions for staff?
So hypothetically, if the vote on this is 2-2 again tonight, it would be back in December for it again to.
You can continue to vote until you figure out a 3
Or have a
direction,
person
or
Yeah.
you can table it. And come back again in December.
I should add, obviously, this was my mistake last month. Thanks for letting me fall on that, Art. Like Ty said, it requires a majority of the total membership, not just a majority present. But the mistake that I made was that you are required to take an action, either approving or denying. So what we did last month with a 2 to 1 vote is we said it was not a majority of the total membership. So the motion to approve failed. That is what's not allowed. You have to either approve or deny, or like Ty said, if you cannot reach a a majority of the membership decision to take final action, then you will be required to table the item until you can get 5 members here and take an action.
Thanks.
So moving forward from this point in time, you're within your 30-day window of having your public hearing, having been held on October 7th. So within that 30-day window, you do not have to call for an additional public hearing. So you're able to talk among yourselves, go over any different aspects. In attendance, I know there are individuals that are here from the neighborhood. There is the applicant that's here. I'm sure she'd be willing to answer any questions or anything along those lines. And I would recommend having the applicant come up and have that conversation. But also here this evening, after having reached out to me, our county extension agent is also here this evening to be able to provide any additional information or clarification from that perspective as well.
Appreciate it. I think since you weren't here, I'd like to go through the whole process
two.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
you
two.
guys weren't here, so let's go
Yep,
through the whole
let's do it.
process, have a clear mind on what we're doing and then make it, is that okay with you?
That's fine with me. There's plenty of people here and I want to give them more chance.
I agree.
So I'll start with the applicant and
more or less.
let's go from there.
I will. All right. Will the petitioner please step forward to the podium? Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening. My name is Heather Johnson and I'm at 12515 Plymouth Meadow Drive, Plymouth.
Thank you. Thank you for removing the chickens and following through with what we talked about. I do appreciate that.
Yes, it was our understanding that we were in county section. We had we recently moved.
Yeah,
We were not told anything about a 2-mile variance or radius that applied to the city. So once we found that out, we wanted to do the right thing and bring it and try to correct the situation.
thank you. Appreciate that. Does anybody have questions? I mean, we've talked to her before. Do you guys have any questions about what they're wanting to do?
Are you? From what the recommendation was. Are you comfortable with not free ranging those chickens? Keeping them penned?
Yeah, we have a big enough
So
and
your pen's big enough to meet the 5 square foot per bird?
yeah, we are fine with keeping them in their coop, keeping them safe, keeping them.
And is your,
'Cause they're happy.
get a good look at your coop. Is it on wheels? Can it be towed?
No, it is not on wheels.
You can't move it?
Not unless we take it apart and move it.
Thank you. Good. All right. If there's more questions for the applicant, I'll entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
I move to open up a public hearing.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I now declare the public meeting open. So if there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak in favor of the proposal, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record. So if you're in favor of. Hello,
Hello. I'm Tisha Pletcher.
Tim Pletcher,
address.
12488 Meadow Drive.
Thank
We
you.
basically live kind of catty corner, but our property is in front of there.
Gotcha.
We didn't even know they had them, so they were never a problem. I'm strongly in favor of people being able to raise their own eggs, raise their own food on their own property, especially if you have 3 acres. There's no reason, I can see why we're even limited to 6. I mean, they had 8. I don't see why, what 2 gonna make.
Sure.
But yeah, we're definitely in favor of them being able to have their chickens.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else in the audience or online that would like to speak in favor of the proposal? You have the online people. Just Randy?
And Debbie.
Okay, you can come on up.
All right, Brianna Soniker, Agriculture and Natural Resources Extension Educator from Marshall County. Work for Purdue Extension.
Your home and address.
10789 State Road 17, Plymouth, Indiana 46563.
Thank you.
So kinda, I'm either for or against. I'm here to present some facts for you guys for this case. When considering chickens within town limits, there are many towns across Indiana, Midwest, across the country that do have variances and do allow this, or ordinances that do allow chickens for backyards. As long as chickens are properly maintained, there really shouldn't be any issues with chickens being under control, getting out of their homes, or getting odor issues as well. I believe it was recommended by Ty that there was a 3 foot by 3 foot space per chicken for this proposal, and that is more than adequate amount for that chicken to live. As far as it being free range, they're not caged or anything like that, so they are technically considered free range. And it does meet animal welfare standards for those chickens.
So in a pen
Mhm.
on the ground, that's still considered free range?
Yep, absolutely. As long as it's not a cage and they are free to walk,
Well, they're not,
spread their
though.
wings.
These aren't, they're in a cage.
No, they're not.
They're not?
Not like a
Being
traditional.
in a cage, they would not be able to walk or spread their wings.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Clear.
So, do you guys have any questions for me at this time? One thing I would kind of like to address for you guys to think about as well is waste management. I noticed within the recommendation, it did say planning on keeping manure for a garden. Obviously during the winter, there is going to be waste. So what are storage plans for that? As long as it is like outside to the open air, not closed off, not super damp or anything like that, there shouldn't be any odor issues. But it is a good idea to have a general idea of what that might look like, especially since there is a pond on that property.
So your recommendation would be to have during the winter, some kind of enclosed storage for that,
Not necessarily enclosed.
for the waste, not but covered, so it doesn't get damp and.
Yeah, moist. When it gets damp and moist and has no
What
flow,
would you recommend
airflow,
that look like?
it could have a tarp over it, something like that. It could be like a little lean-to off of the side of the chicken coop, something that would keep it well maintained. Adequate airflow, no moisture. And that will help with any odor issues, which there shouldn't be with that little amount of chickens.
They made a recommendation for 6 verse 8. Give us an idea of what do you say we should have for chickens? If somebody has an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres,
As far as chickens
Number.
go, number wise, as long as there's adequate space, it's 3 foot by 3 foot per chicken. So if they have the space, to have, 20 chickens within that space requirement, go for it.
are there nuisances to chickens around when you have neighbors and stuff? Is there anything that you would see as an issue? Besides the odor, I know we've talked
As long
about
as they're
that.
properly contained and housed, which, according to the recommendations on what is being proposed, that should be adequate as far as any dogs or cats getting into it.
Okay.
Coyotes.
Coyotes, same thing. I mean, a dog, coyote, they're related. Same instincts as far as that goes. So, but with the housing that is there, recommended that's going to be your best suitable housing.
Gotcha.
So as long as they stay within their enclosure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't. If you do, we'll ask you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else in favor of, please step forward. If not, is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak against the proposal? If so, please step forward, state your name and address. And he's on still. Question, did anything go out? Again, a letter did go out again that this was coming back up, right? So everybody's been informed. I just want to make sure of that. I knew we got it at the gun club, so I knew it did go back
There was
up.
no new letters arrived.
I did not receive any.
And you gave the information in there of what we did get before, so that's good. All right, there's nobody that's here to speak against. Applicant, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Can I actually ask about winter disposal of that waste?
Yep, come on up. Sure.
When the garden's not active?
Okay, so for our waste, we're planning on composting and getting that air, and some of that is going to be mixed in with dirt and grass clippings and different things like that, so it will be mixed and covered and no moisture will get into it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So do you have a dedicated spot for that already?
we were trying to figure out what was going to happen with this before we designated another thing toward it. So we're waiting till we could have our chickens before we could designate that spot.
Gotcha.
Is that gonna be part of the city's inspection then at all?
That's what I was gonna ask. How do we? Well, first off, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. One of the questions I had, Dennis, that's hard. How do we manage this? And we have others that do have it. How do we manage it if their chickens are in neighbors' yards, the stink? Can you handle that? Is that something that if you get a complaint?
If a neighbor calls in and makes a complaint, then I would probably go out and do the inspection.
So they'd fill out a report and then they would give it to you and then you'd go address it and look at it. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
And if I can't make it, I can delegate it to Ty.
You guys have any other questions around that? Okay,
Just a quick comment on that. Art, with that in the recommendation portion, the seventh condition is that the confinement shall be open to periodic inspection by the city of Plymouth zoning administrator or designee. So if we do end up having an issue for a code violation or anything along those lines, we're essentially requesting the ability to go out and confirm or deny with that aspect. Variances are just like any other development standard that are associated with the project. Say you're doing a setback reduction, when you're going through the building permitting process through with the building permit, you're going through and you're reviewing, does it not meet the traditional standards? And if there's a separate standard that came through the BZA, making sure that that's been applied for and taken care of within that site planning aspect. But just like every other development standard that doesn't necessarily have a building permit associated with it, you as a citizen of the city of Plymouth within the 2-mile jurisdiction of the city are required to follow the zoning ordinance or any of the variances that are associated with that property. And if there is a violation of that ordinance, it follows the code enforcement process and kind of goes down that tree of webs.
just a harder part that we have, for follow-up, we've had before. That's why I asked the question.
So confinements in that language is the whole project, not just the coop.
Be the coop, the run, and the associated pieces to that. Typically, it's going to be mostly the coop and the runs. But if there's something that's
I
associated
just want
with
to make
it,
sure that's covered under that.
if there's in addition to the conditions that are laid out by staff that you would want to make sure that's within any vote that you may make, making sure that you list out what you want into that case.
Gotcha.
Because what you don't put in your motion does not exist. It can be a great conversation leading into it, but what lives and dies is the motion.
Well, that's a question for me now. You and Dennis came up with 6 versus 8. Why 6, not 8? After hearing from this young lady here, I just
looking into the different research aspects and coming up with, okay, if they're looking at 8 and we're looking to a smaller number, we can look at compromising into a 6 or looking into what the research is showing on. Here's the approximate size. Let's start here. If it's going well and you want to come back and you want to do more, we can come back and do more later. But let's get a first good basis.
if they came back in 3 months, say 6, because it'll be coming spring, they don't have to wait a year to come back then because we've approved or denied their motion. I thought they have to wait a year before they can come back in front of
If you want to come back, or if you want the same exact request, then yes, you have to wait a year. But if you make an adjustment to that request to improve its likability or the ability to be approved, whatever it may be, that is a different request that's coming in at that point in time.
Okay.
That would be my interpretation of it.
We'll follow his. That'd be good.
But I don't know if you want to take my advice, but.
Thank you.
Is this piece of property in the subdivision?
No.
It is not a part of the subdivision.
Okay, so now the other question, so it's, because we have a restriction on chickens in subdivisions.
Okay.
Okay, so we get beyond that hurdle because it's not technically in the subdivision.
Correct. It is not a lot of the subdivision.
Okay.
But I'm not aware of that either because we've allowed them in subdivisions.
We did one time, but since then we made a rule that prohibits chickens in subdivisions.
BZA did or somebody else?
Planning commission.
Planning commission, okay.
What
Thanks, I didn't know that. I was just.
So what we did is, we made an amendment to allow for chickens in the R1 rural district, except in a platted subdivision.
Right, right. So in, like where I live, you cannot have chickens because it's R1, but it's a platted.
You can't have chickens by right, so you
So
would
my
have to-
subdivision, I couldn't have chickens?
He's gonna be in the city limits.
Yeah, so you're,
My county though, I have only part of it will be.
So there's by right and there's variance. They are pursuing a variance to permit.
correct.
within that
So,
space.
so the amendment that allows chickens in the R1 district, would not apply to you because it, accepts platted subdivisions. So, no, you could not have chickens without a variance.
Tell my kids that.
Alright. Oh, you're trying to make me the bad guy earlier.
Okay, good. Anybody having more discussion for him? Any more discussion for Ty or anybody? Okay, if there's no more discussion at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval, denial, or other recommendations. And remember, if you make a recommendation, make it clear and specific, please.
I feel good about criteria established, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve with the constraints that the city has put on them.
So 6 chickens.
Yes.
So the recommendation as recommended by staff was 6 chickens. Anything on manure?
Everything that was
And-
already written in that recommendation, I'm good with.
As presented. Okay, I have a motion for, as stated.
Second.
I have a second. Roll call.
Garner,
Yes.
Gidley,
Yes.
Wendell,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
I'd like to add that last month I did vote no. But after listening to the young lady and some of the other additional information tonight, that changed my mind. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there.
Thank you for following through with not, getting rid, doing something with the chickens until we got this straightened out. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ty, then next on you have to stay for the next one too.
Okay.
You can leave. All right, the next one is BZA 2025-20. Is that your findings?
Okay, so now we're on to BZA 25-20 cats, Lawrence Cats and I couldn't do that on the previous. HDJ Investments LLC, 207 East Market Street, Napanee, Indiana. 46550, a variance of development standard to allow for a pole sign in the R1 district at a new proposed property located at 7794 Queen Road, Plymouth, Indiana, 46563. Identified as parcels 5041-26-000-026-000-017 and 5041-26-000-055-000-017, zoned R1 Rural Residential District. For the request of variance and development standard to allow for a pole sign in the R1 Rural Residential District on, for the most part, parcel 5041-26-000-026-000-017 located at 7794 Queen Road, Plymouth, Indiana. The reason for the multiple parcels and those sorts of things is until the subdivision was approved earlier, it only exists as 2 separate parcels. It won't get officially into a singular parcel until the plat has been recorded and gone through that process. So here's the subject property, subject driveway is gonna be pushed as far north as possible, and you got the Dollar General sitting in the majority of the middle of the parcel, with parking lot being fronting towards Queen Road frontage and US 30. They're having a pole sign that's gonna be going in the corner, in the southwest corner. Because commercial development is not permittable within the R1 district without a variance. They've already received that under BCA 16. So because commercial is not permitted within the R1 district, commercial signage by product is not typically found within that same zoning district. And that's how our sign classification system goes, is based on the zoning district and sign type. So when we went out, we took some pictures of the property, looking towards the south, towards the intersection. We took some pictures of the property, and as we got down towards the intersection, we wanted to be able to look across and take a look at what signage is across the street for the couple businesses that are there, including the old gas station and the property that's kind of gone through several different iterations on sales. And then we have the west side of Queen Road, where there are several church signs, sign for the Swan Lake and its associated restaurant, as well as a couple other businesses that are all located along this farmway. And then you've got the subject property here, and painting here, you would see the Dollar General sign that would be proposed. We do not have any renderings or anything along those lines at this point for that, but I would imagine it'd be pretty close to what you see elsewhere. The applicant is seeking to permit a pole sign in the R1 residential district, a rural residential district. Pole signs are only permitted within the C1 or C3 and I industrial districts. The business itself was approved previously under a different BZA case earlier this year. The separation of the two proposed variances is common for projects to establish use before pursuing any additional variances if necessary. The project would be required to comply with other sections of the zoning ordinance unless applicable variances are pursued and approved by the board itself. For decision criteria, and the only decision criteria you're able to make decisions on tonight include the general welfare, adjacent property, and practical difficulty for this case. Now, for finding number one, the proposal should not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare, pending the size of the sign being of average square footage of other Dollar General stores. For finding number two, the use and value of adjacent property should remain minimally impacted because of the sign. And for finding number three, the strict application of the ordinance would not permit the proposal, but the request is on the heels of a use variance approval. So for recommendation based on the information provided and general description of the proposal, staff would recommend approval. Now is that for board determination with staff recommendation of approval? Any questions for staff?
Ty, if we approve this, it's not saying anything about size, but they have to follow our sign ordinance for size, correct?
Correct.
And
So
if they want anything different, they'd have to come back in front.
correct. They're requesting a pole sign. They would have to meet that square footage association. And if they exceed it by 1 square foot, they can either shrink it or come back in front of you and say, hey, we got the pole sign, thank you very much, but we need to make it a little bit bigger.
Gotcha.
Dennis, what's the maximum height on a pole sign now? Is it 12 feet? Is that something?
20?
Is it 20?
I'm leaning towards 20, but don't quote me.
Higher is better than lower.
For
that
section. Well, my first thought was we'll just have them make a monument sign, but that monument sign's gonna be out there along the road. It could block traffic, visibility of traffic, so I guess. As much as I hate pole signs, I think having it up in the air is probably better for traffic control than.
You'd be 6 in one, half dozen in the other at that given location with the limited cross traffic and location of it. It wouldn't be blocking any of the driveways.
We have many
where-
bad accidents there.
Correct, to the south.
Yeah, but still, I mean, coming across both ways, north to south.
But this is in reference to the Plymouth Laporte intersection, not the Queen.
Okay.
30 intersection.
Okay.
So because it's north of that and you're not interfering in terms of driveways with.
Sorry.
the
But this
private
sign's gonna
driveway.
be in the southwest corner of the property, so pretty
Correct.
far from the building.
Usually closer to the road.
Can you
yeah.
go back to that?
Yep. There you go.
So where the blue is where the sign's gonna be?
Yeah, the northwest corner of the blue. It'd be
Yeah.
right about where the electrical pole is what I would be guessing that symbol would be. So if we jump where that electrical box is,
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you'd be going inside of that.
Well,
About
yeah, it
15
it'd
foot
have
or so.
to be inside of that, yeah,
Well, in relationship to where that is on the property,
yeah.
if I'm guessing what the symbols are from this distance
Yeah.
on the TV screen and not reading it well, I would bet you that those symbols are in association with the telecommunications and stop sign.
Yeah. Perfect. Anybody else have any questions for Ty? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I think the applicant's here as well to be
I will.
able to answer questions.
I will the petitioner or representative please step forward to the podium? Please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, Dave Peters, 4152 Progress Boulevard, Peru, Illinois. So yeah, as as spoken about, being that this is off a divided highway, we're requesting a pole sign. If this were, in a more urban setting, it would be a monument sign, lighted monument sign on the ground. But for, visibility's sake off, US 30, we feel that a pole sign would be perfect for this location.
Anybody have questions?
I'm just curious. How does is there a new developer in this project? What, the guy in the company from West Plains, Missouri, how are they involved?
So they're the developer. We were the surveyor on the project, and I'm
Okay.
just representing them tonight, essentially because I'm closer in distance and
Okay.
it's easy for me to get.
Yeah. But we're not. Keep pushing. Thank you.
So the owner of the property is gonna be the developer in West Plains.
Yes, sir. Well, let me see.
Unless they've already got a buyer.
Yeah, the current owner is the Katz and HDJ Investments out of Napanee. And we're applying on their behalf.
And then how does the developer in West Plains, Missouri figure, is he gonna be the ultimate owner of the property?
Yeah, right. We'd be the buyer of the property from the current owner, yes.
Didn't we make the original variance for the West Plains owner?
Correct, they're the buyer. HCJ owns it currently.
We've been making it for the person wanting to buy it to make sure it goes through,
Yeah.
and then they will
Okay.
buy it.
Which is the West Plains group, yes.
Right.
But you're in communication with them, so
Yeah.
they know, okay.
They're the surveyor of record.
Yep, I'm here on their behalf, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to open up a public hearing.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. I now declare the public meeting open. Is there anybody in attendance who would like to speak in favor of the proposal? If so, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. And this is if you're for.
I'm Sheila Sayavanse, and I live at 16160 Lincoln Highway in Plymouth, Indiana, 46563. There has been a permitted advertising sign on this property for many years, mine. Most recently under the lease to Outfront Media. Unfortunately, the structure was damaged during a recent storm. It came down, but I want to make it clear that I intend to maintain the site's lawful use and active NDOT permit. The property is zoned industrial, and from what I understand, it lies outside the city limits. The Indiana Department of Transportation regulates outdoor advertising along Lincoln Highway and requires only 300 feet of separation between signs on the same side of the highway. I was informed that the city may be considering placement of a new sign approximately 300 feet from the existing site. I want to be clear that I have no objections to that as long as my site remains recognized as a lawful permitted location under NDOT rules. My goal is simply to preserve the permit and allow for a future sign to be rebuilt or leased again in compliance with the state regulations. And I appreciate you guys' time.
Can you
and
show us on the map where your sign is now?
Are you talking about you have a billboard?
I have a billboard, but it's actually down right now.
Okay,
We're from the
and you
storm,
can
so
just
it's
walk up
actually
there. You
across.
can walk up there and point to it, but is it across the highway?
It's across the highway,
Oh.
so mine's on Lincoln Highway, mine's across
Okay.
from.
You're okay
But
with
it's within
this?
300 feet of this one, you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying it's okay, I just wanna make sure that it's in compliant with,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, it's not gonna affect you. That all of a sudden we
Yeah.
put this one up and then we tell you you can't have yours.
Right.
That would bother you? Ty?
300 feet, that was.
Well, that's, you guys had sent me the paper, so that's why I'm here.
Good.
So I assume that's,
If I'm,
yeah.
so the 300 feet that's in the letter
Right.
itself is notifying you that
You're within 300.
project is within 300 feet or two properties
yeah.
of you. Has nothing to do with a sign or the sign that's been there in the past. There's state statute that requires the city or any other government entity that goes through this process to notify within a certain distance, and you fell within that distance.
That's why you were
Yeah.
notified.
That
of
was-
300 feet.
It wasn't
Yeah,
because of your sign.
That's good though.
I
But
just
You
wanted
happen
to make
own
sure.
Property along those aspects.
yeah,
The grandfathering aspect or legal nonconforming or whatever it may be of your sign is entirely independent of this case. I
Yeah.
can't speak to when it went down or anything along those lines, or
Mhm.
what time frame is required under NDOT regulations.
Yeah.
They're
But
very
hold Ty
particular.
accountable for anything that becomes an issue.
Yeah, so,
It's, you just happen to be within the distance, so I go around and I click everybody within that given distance,
Mhm.
then everybody within that gets a letter.
yeah, so I didn't know if laws had changed or anything like that, so every year they, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really too sure, so.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Anybody else in the audience like to speak in favor of? If not, is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak against the proposal? If so, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Crickets.
Mhm.
Crickets.
Yep. I don't see anybody online that wants to say anything. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
So I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Okay. I entertain, if there's no additional discussion from the board, I'll entertain a motion from the approval or denial of proposal. One question I do have before we do that, though, some of the discussion has come about the roadway and what's gonna happen out there. That doesn't concern us in our vote. I realize that. I'm just curious if we know, are they gonna put an interchange there or something, or?
If I knew what NDOT would be doing with different.
I thought you knew. I thought you knew all.
I know where to look, but in terms of what is NDOT gonna do and when are they gonna do it, it's about as anybody's good as guess. It's all gonna come down to which district is gonna be receiving the funding for different projects and kind of where does that begin to come into play. All the fun politics of everything that goes into roadway funding. So what does it begin to look like? I couldn't tell you. In terms of what options are on the table, or at least based on the Propel study, yeah, I can have a conversation about those. But in terms of what it's gonna become of three different options,
Right. No, I'm just curious, is
Do
the
not know.
options to get rid of that intersection?
there's different separations that are proposed, whether it be keeping full access, reduced access in terms of you're able to cross over but not interact with the main thoroughfare being 30, or you're able to have full access with interchange. Just depending on which direction they go, there's actually a lot of options available at that intersection. If you were to go east or west, your options would change. But based on that study and trying to follow as quickly as we can, and I know we've had contact between the city and the county as it relates to making sure we've had our comments and everything put into the Propel study at all three stages of it to make sure that our voices are being heard and making a big push with that. We try to advise everybody that's seeking to do a project within that general region that they know what could or potentially may happen, so that they have an idea of what kind of impacts could be coming their way based on those projects.
Gotcha.
But if we develop out there, that probably legitimizes our claim that we'd want to keep that open if there's more development.
It can, and it can also make it difficult, similar to how State Road 10 and Argus connects with US 31. Because the cost of property is substantial once developed. If it's a flat farm field, it's usually a cheaper cost. Not to say that property has different impacts, but there's additional value once additional value is put into that property.
So then, do we, since it's in the 2 mile zone, Dennis, do we have control over side by sides, four-wheelers and stuff running up and down the road?
It's not our roadway.
Even though it's in the 2 mile zone?
It's a zoning and building regulation, not a roadway regulation.
Gotcha. I was just curious, that'll drive a lot more traffic to that area.
Right, so that would be a great question with the county commissioners as well as the county sheriff, because it'd be under the county sheriff's purview. And commissioner regulation of roadways.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. There's no more questions. I'll entertain a motion for approval, denial, or other recommendations.
I mean, we approve the sign request as presented.
Second.
I have a first and second. Roll call?
Garner.
Yes.
Gidley.
Yes.
Wendell.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
4-0 approved.
Yep.
So that moves on to building commissioner updates. Anything you'd like to add?
Give us something. Come on.
Hey, it's actually. Well, to your comment about side by sides and everything on the road. There is actually a state permit that you can get.
Yeah, I got one.
And with some of the new side by sides, if you file your paperwork properly, you can actually have them licensed as a true motor vehicle.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just know
nobody can
some
say anything
towns,
about it.
I know some towns, some townships have different ordinances, like I know Bremen, you have to actually either buy that permit, but then you have to still, they don't make you double pay, but you have to go fill out a
Right.
paperwork for the city. I don't think we have anything like that, do we?
We have regulations for golf carts. We don't have anything specific for side by side.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, thank you.
So that's it for building commissioner. Last thing I have is other business for your 2026 calendar. For those of you that were here for the planning commission portion. We discussed the meetings, made the adjustment for November. November 3rd would have been the Tuesday, because that is election year 2026. It's traditionally slid to Wednesday. Then likewise, we'd be looking to make the adjustment for the 5th to the 6th in May. For the primary election as well. The planning commission upheld having those dates as presented and adjusted for May, of course. And then that should have actually been, I didn't fix that copy and paste. Should have been 7:30 and 6:30 accordingly, not competing timeframes as 7 and 6 o'clock. We're both here at the same time.
We want to keep ours at the same time. I think we can, the one thing about the 4th, just so you know, I might have a conflict with the fire department, a mandatory training, but
That's why you have a competent vice president.
yeah. And well, you said competent, but anyways, but can we keep the time, our time the same?
At 7:30?
Yeah. I'm joking.
It's
I'll make a motion.
It's the board's wishes, but I would recommend adjusting this slide to read 7:30 and 6:30. 6:30 being the proposed time. That is my fault on that one.
So we'll be at 6:30. Correct.
That is
Assuming we have
that is
voted in.
up. That is up to you guys.
What do we want to go in front of them at 5:30?
Yes.
I am simply here to propose
Wouldn't bother
things.
me.
Does it make logical sense to have BZA before plan commission? Is there any?
We don't have any.
It's 6 and 1, half dozen of the other, honestly.
Sometimes there's cases that
We'll go long.
Yeah.
Their cases go long.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, if we go early,
Well, we normally go longer than they do.
we're better than they are. Let them push back. I don't care, whatever you guys want to do.
I'm happy with
I'll-
5:30.
Make a motion.
What do you guys think? What's best?
Mark's got his reservations then.
Well,
The
the
hesitancy-
only thing Doug Feast, he's gonna have a hard time getting to the meeting at 6 o'clock. Cause he works, the guy works late in the evenings. You know, it's gonna be a press for him to be here.
Well, he would. It's already been.
It has nothing to do
I
with
know
what
it's
time we
already been
go.
approved, but I'm just saying, I mean.
But this might help him, I mean, if we run over and they don't start till 6:30.
Well, if we run over, he gets a chance to be late, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The only hesitancy, nothing against 5:30. The hesitancy is I'm looking at what council has set as precedent and what Board of Public Works has set as precedent as starting at 6 and 6:30. So I was looking to simply mirror what they were proposing.
Does
But-
the park board meet at 6:30 or?
I do
Oh,
not
they
think
do.
the additional
Five
litanies.
o'clock. Redevelopment commission meets at 5:30. On their meeting days.
So everybody's different.
I will do whatever the city needs. I am here to give my time freely with no prejudice to the city. I will do whatever you need, because you guys have been so good to me.
It's getting deep.
Whoa.
If it's better
I'll
for
make
you
a motion.
guys, I mean, seriously.
Make a motion for 6:30.
It does not matter.
It's better. Because we have 5:30, we have another meeting already.
But not-
There are additional boards that meet prior to 6.
Not on the same day as your meeting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've already made a motion.
I make a motion to approve the 2026 calendar with the meeting time of 6:30.
I'll second that.
You gonna do roll call or do you wanna just say aye? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Okay. This is your meeting calendar with the proposed adjustments with the meeting time being 6:30.
Can you send that out?
We will make sure we get things sent out for you guys.
Or for the next one.
Your next month meeting, I'm anticipating a couple cases. So you will continue to meet at 7:30 in December on the 2nd, as he told me last meeting. It was on the 2nd.
Yeah,
Other than that, that is everything I had this evening.
okay.
Okay. Do you anticipate any chickens?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, good. I'll entertain adjournment.
I
Motion.
move we adjourn.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
The three of you, I need